There's some collars I told Kevin.
Thank you for sharing your feelings.
Let's give him a treat.
Treasured memories. Thank you for opening your heart. You're unforgettable. Thank you for letting me be me.
Hi, buddy.
You're my everything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, we finally got Willie home, which was his shelter nickname, and I guess his real given name at the shelter was Teddy. And he's a big teddy bear. So, oh no. No. Here's Teddy. Here's Teddy. We are going to be building him an upgraded enclosure. Well, sleeping area, because it's about to get real cold next week. We have this little Amazon thing with a heating pad. It's just a plastic. It's got a double wall, but we are going to be building. Whoa, dude! I'm gonna go keep building your new house because it's only like -5 right now, but in a week's time it's like -20 overnight, so that's a lot colder. We already do have a pretty nice little enclosure for him. We put some of these plastic on the outside so it still allows sun in, but it blocks the wind as well. So when it is windy and stormy out, it's definitely a lot nicer in here than outside. I'm going to be building one of these out of 2x4s and then do rock wool insulation R14, and that will allow him to survive the coldest of cold nights out here. The heating pad will do wonders. What I'm going to build is a little bit bigger, so we have an entryway with a baffle blocking off, and then he'll turn right, and then there'll be the whole sleeping pad for him to cozy on up in. Hey? Hey? Mr. Teddy's a very nice cat. What do you have to say for yourself, Mr. Teddy? Of course, with any acreage, you have many projects on the go at once. This is our future workshop for our business, which we still haven't finished. As you can see, I still have the floor ups right now. I'm getting ready to insulate it. But Mr. Teddy's project takes precedence because he lives outside and we need him to stay warm. So I can finish this workshop whenever. We still want it sooner than later so we can move out of our other uninsulated workshop into this one, but still quite a bit of work here. So we're going to get started on Teddy's stuff. Alrighty, we have some very rough blueprint sketches here. It's obviously changed quite a bit since I first was thinking about it. So there's been a few little tweaks and scribbles and everything else, but I need to go get plywood to finish off the inside, and so as good as my drawing I think it is, I just want to start getting some things assembled so I can lay it out and see it. And then once I can confirm that, yeah, that is right, then I'll go ahead and get the plywood because I have to get it ripped down lengthwise. I have an SUV and not a pickup truck to bring a full sheet of plywood home. So that's always fun, but that's all right. So I'm using these JRK screws, and then I will not go back and use any other screw. They are expensive, but they just grab and pull the wood together and just way better than any other screw I've ever used. So there's no going back. That's all four corners done. I'm gonna do a little bit of layout. Obviously, as we are going to have his sleeping quarters 14 inches deep, 18 inches long. And there's going to be like a 5-inch wide hallway that comes in. That's for his entry door, 5-inch wide by 6-inch tall. And he'll walk into, and that baffle is going to go all the way long, and then there'll be another entry there that he'll have to turn into, and that's just going to help keep all the warmth inside his sleeping area and not allowing a lot of cold air come in. So it'll be a bit larger to add that, but it's kind of a nice hallway for them to like wipe their paws off and all that stuff that falls off before they get into their sleeping areas. Alrighty, we've been to the hardware store and we've got our 1/2-inch plywood. So that's ready to go now for our flooring. We've done some layout. We got our top plates and bottom plates cut over there. I've done the layout, so I'm really much ready to go start assembling this. So I think we will start doing that. Of course, as we're doing things extra, I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Nothing like a little PL Premium. We are going to screw the walls in this way, or the corners, I guess. Just putting 2 screws in each one, give me a little bit of wiggle room to adjust it for getting the top plate and everything as square as I possibly can. Alright. There's that. Pretty sweet. Got our floor, bottom plate, the corners. Gonna do a top plate. Put an insulation all in there. Once I get all the top plate and everything kind of squared up, I'll go and put more screws in there. So that's pretty good for now. Let's get the top plates on. Not a lot, just a little bit. And we get to pull out another fun little tool, the brad nailer. Just tack it in place quickly before I put screws in. Okay, let's just check to make sure that it's all lined up as best as possible. Sweet. We then have our 3 legs. These are the final legs. That's going to keep a little bit of 1.5 inch air gap under here and off the ground. It is inside of an enclosed catio already, but yeah, just want to do that. You're getting the close-up view of this today. On here, I can only really screw through into the 1 2x4 here, but that's why I'm adding the glue, in the middle. I'll be able to do it down the center of it, but it's going to overhang. That's why, again, I'm going to put glue on it, and just extra little bit of holding power. So let's screw this down now. It's almost getting too tall. That's the thing, when there's glue on it, it likes to wander when you start drilling, so you want to make sure you're holding it pretty good. Sweet. That's one. I will do the rest. We're going to rip down some of this nice sanded birch plywood, and that's going to be some of the trim pieces. Figure you might as well make it as nice as possible when you look at it every couple days to clean it out. Those finishing touches are going to be a nice addition in the end. take one inside and see how it's gonna look. So I ripped that 4.5 inches because my thought is it's gonna go over top of there and also block off the piece of plywood coming up on this side and also the one on the inside. So when you look down, you're just gonna see this beautiful piece of wood. Yeah. Then also we're gonna have some like gaskets that seal on the lid, and this makes a much smoother edge than say that 2x4. It's not horrible, but you're also not gonna see those screw holes. You're just gonna see this plywood and brad nail or two, which are pretty invisible. Alright, I just cut all the pieces for his little cat door, 5 inches wide, 6 inches tall. I gotta still put everything together, but we cut all these cute little pieces of 1/2 inch plywood, and that's just so it's a smoother entryway for them. There's not gonna be any rough 2x4s, or you're not gonna see any screw like that. So it's all gonna be glued and brad nailed in, and yeah, be a nice little passageway for our kitty in there. Alright, got a little square here to cut out, and that's for the cat entryway. Figure I'm gonna try using this guy. And then we smooth it out. That wasn't even recording the whole time I was doing it. Okay, well, we have the cat house. We are ready to add insulation. I cut all the panels and I glued and nailed them in. I even did add a little bead of this big stretch. We did in the corners, and then we also did it around all the inside edges as well. And that just stops any air drafts from going in behind the seams. And if air doesn't get in, the cat will stay warmer. Everything will be fantastic. So I had a bottle open already, so it was worthwhile just to put a bit in. We got the entrance here, a little 5x6. Lined it with plywood so it's smooth for the cat to go through. Like I said, you don't really see the little brad nail marks nearly as much as if you were using screws. You're like, oh, here, let's walk in. So you're the cat, you walk in, and then you're in your little entry corridor, and then you turn this way, and then you get into your maid sleeping area. So looking from above, that's kind of like the entry chamber. Bit of a baffle to keep the cold air out and also the hot air in his sleeping area. Here we got, it's 14 inches deep and 18 inches wide, and that basically just fits his heating pad snugly. This is offset down a little bit because the lid roof is still going to come down, and there's going to be a 2x4 with a sheet of plywood underneath it too to have the roof insulated. So basically those two will be touching, but I don't have that done yet. I'm just going to be going and adding all the insulation, then I can finally add the exterior panels on. And then one of the last things I have to do is I got to drill a hole. Alrighty, we got it insulated now. Looking mighty fine. Oh yeah, since it's so small and it's just a cat house, we also didn't put another stud to be 16 inch on center. We just filled it all full of insulation. This thing is built like a shit brick house. It is heavy. I don't know how much, but when it's done, it's probably like over 60 pounds for sure. So it's built to last, and yeah, it should be super warm for the kitty. Insulation down there, insulation in the walls, and there'll be insulation in the roof. Twinkle fingers. We'll get the sides on now, and then I can get the front and back on and move on to the lid. Exciting! Alright, the cat house is pretty much done, minus the roof, but we now have our entryway. Looking from above, it looks like that. I felt leaving it like this just looked a little unfinished. So what I decided to do is cut some pieces of more 1/2 inch plywood, and those are going to go like this, which I'm now going to go glue and screw down, but then it's going to look like that, which I just think makes it look a million times better. Nice smooth finish up there for our seal to sit on. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that and then get started on fitting the lid that's going to fit down inside there. Sweet! Doesn't that just look finished now? Super stoked how that turned out. Alright, onto the lid. Alright, well, today is the big day. You see it there? Oh yeah, today's the big day. We finished Teddy's insulated sleeping quarters, and we're going to be adding it to his catio. Just so you're ready, you'll confirm with the other person. Straight up.
You want to come in?
Yeah. Which is also insulated. I probably didn't need to use 2x4s on the inside of the lid. The issue when you're using 1/2-inch plywood is putting a screw in it. This is all for you, Teddy. So you stay warm. Yeah, if you use 1/2-inch plywood, you definitely crack it when you put a screw through it.
Hi. You want to come in? I don't know. Look it up.
Should we just rotate it back now? I think we don't need to go in any further, right?
I haven't. Just the plastic. Forgot your food though.
Teddy's free. See, we got an entranceway.
Oh,
He
he's
walks
looking for
in,
his house.
and then he walks in over here, and it's
He's like, where's the entryway?
right here, Teddy.
There's a toy there, Papa.
Look at this. Is your sleeping? Teddy, jump down in there. That's your new sleeping pad, buddy. Yeah, yeah. Teddy, right here. Yeah, yeah. Come on, out this way. Yeah, you can do it. Teddy. No, that was cheating. It's got more hardwood that you can... Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Mama's got it. No, I was trying to film it.
Hi.
Here comes a great Teddy escape.
It's so dark.
Dude, what a cool cat house this is. Look at it, looks like you're blending in. We should just glue some leaves there. Some pine needles. Isn't that so cool? Are you gonna make biscuits later? Are you gonna invite us for tea and biscuits? Okay, so everyone knows the rules. You have free roam with the place, but play nicely and break. Here, boys! Down the toboggan.
Whoa!
Potentially your toboggan.
Kiba! What are you doing?
Yeah. Wow. That was quite the run you did.
Bye, rabbit.
Bunny rabbit. Yeah, there you are, bunny rabbit.
Here!
Oh, there you are, little bunny rabbit.
Come on.
Baby. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Here, boys! Good boy, keep. Come on, Elvis! Go see mom! Go see mom! Yum. Oh, you're right there! Oh, we're back here again.
Go potty. Kiba.
He's like different.
Kiba. Hi, buddy.
Ha!
Oh my gosh.
Unleash the beast. Now we can start it. Let's get her. That's a good way to start it. I almost killed the battery last time when I left all my lights on, so definitely doesn't like that. Gonna have to boost it. Nothing like having to jumpstart your ATV on the first snow day of the year. The clamps on this ATV, they're just such little screws. It's not really ideal. I always need to find a smaller booster cable set. Maybe there's an ATV specific one. We got her hooked up. Be running in no time. There we go. All right. Well, a few interesting things. I put this piece of PVC pipe underneath of it because I heard that stops your blade from digging in, but man, I've seen people using those all season. I cut it a bit wider to make sure it didn't crack, but now it feels loose. When you have it angled, it slides right off, so that's not good at all. It's kind of plowed, but that was a bit of a fail. It's somewhat plowed, but that was a learning experience for sure. Fail in about 2 ways. I also think this isn't quite enough snow. We had about 2 inches, but with the rocks and stuff in the gravel driveway, I think it would be easier and better if there was even more snow pushing, because there's not a lot of push. You just kind of spread it out to make a little bit of piles. But anyways, first fail was that we had a piece of PVC pipe across the bottom. I did a fairly small slit. I did make it a bit bigger just to make sure it fit the gap of the plow, and it was pretty tight in the summertime, but it got deformed and pushed that opening even wider, and it just slid right off. So I think I need to try that again, just do a thin strip and really just force it on so it's as tight as possible, so even when it gets deformed it's going to still fit on there a bit more snug, because that's going to save the blade a lot, and it's probably way cheaper than a blade. So when that failed, I had these little stoppers that came with it. Typically, yes, this is used more on pavement, so you have it, it hits a pavement and it keeps your blade whatever distance off the ground. So I set those, I kept like a finger width, a good quarter, half an inch off the ground. Did a few strips, it seemed to be fine. It is still super bumpy with these quite rocky driveway, so it's bouncing all over the place, which it was also with a PVC pipe. And then I got to the top there and I saw this was loose, even though there's a double lock washer, and I snugged it up pretty damn tight. It was bouncing around, and so I drove back down here, got my wrenches, I was trying to adjust it, and just from that little bit of this being loose, it wore all the threads away. So these are essentially garbage after 1 2-inch snowfall. Now, probably my fault that I didn't even tighten it even more, but the point of the Loctite, or the lock washers, is that's supposed to lock everything in place. And maybe these aren't meant to be used on gravel driveways because they know how bumpy it is, only pavement, but yeah, these are essentially tossed in the garbage now. There's no way you're fixing that unless you cut it off. And so after that, the last little bit I did, I just basically dropped the blade down, because that's another option, is you can just do that. And man, like, it seemed like just as well as any of the other ways was working, so I might end up doing that. But I would prefer the PVC pipe because it kind of, I don't know, saves your blade a bit. So I'll try that once more. Otherwise, we're just going to be rocking with a plain blade, which I don't think is recommended, but what else can we do? And yeah, I didn't finish everything, you know, around the vehicles and stuff, because it's really not much of a snowfall here. And yeah, back to the drawing board, I guess. It was fun though. It's fun. Lots of firsts. There's gonna be a few more days of this year. Better put the cover on before more snow comes and figure out what I can do better for next time.